No, what are you talking about?
I thought we put it on the thing.
Randy.
Randy, he bet me the
check.
Yeah, the check.
I thought you were talking about Trimble and Floyd.
Oh yeah.
Randy Savage check.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we ever try to do anything with it?
I don't think we
We showed her. Or we
Big gold and a billfold, so swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap.
We're live, Rip. We've been live.
We're on now.
We're on.
Oh, so all the stories I've been talking about our secret lives with all these.
Your mic wasn't on though.
No, my mic wasn't on. Well, they didn't hear it then. It's no. You're over in the corner, and you're supposed to be the
Test.
test, right?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I missed that a couple times, you've just taken over front and center, and I just kind of hang over here in the inside a little bit.
You got to be near the bathroom if you have to go pee or something like that. It's like I have to do. But anyway, what's happened today? I got the glass. Well, I was supposed to go to. I missed another doctor's appointment. I hadn't been back in 2 years. They said, "Oh, you've missed your appointment again." Imagine that.
2 years. You've been before 2 years. That's why you're trying to get donations, man.
Anyway, I can't read none of that stuff. All the top stars should be in the house today. We put all that extra publicity.
Bull Diggins said audio is a little off like a hall, but I can hear you. I don't know anything like that.
Like a what? A hall. Anyway.
Settings, audio. Oh, good call, Bull Diggin.
How's this? Is this better? Check. Is this better?
Is this better or not? Okay, come on, Bull. Pressure's on. Audio is okay.
Better.
Okay, better. Is it the best or is it better? Anyway, we need questions. I need Django Fed out there. Is Django Fed here today? That's all that matters. I haven't been able to sleep whether he's going to be here or not. All the top stars.
I don't have anything.
I think Michael Costello, he wasn't here last week. Does that sound right?
There you go. Plug your t-shirt.
Let me plug my t-shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com. Get the greatest t-shirts in many, many months. Well, I got a Seymour baseball shirt on here.
They can't see right now. They're looking at that.
Oh, okay. So anyway, get your
You're plugging your t-shirt.
Oh yeah, go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Hopefully you'll know what size you wear. Get your Hustler t-shirt. You get your Hustler t-shirt, and if you're a male, you might start getting a little bit of females. And if you're female wearing one, you're going to get all the hot guys. So it's a win-win. Now, if you're in between or you're dressed as this or that, anyway, just get a t-shirt. No matter what you are. What do they call it?
What you identify as?
Yeah. What? Yeah. They didn't used to have that when I was around. No. You didn't identify. You just it was just anyway. No matter what, go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Guess the Hustler Rip Rogers t-shirt, and it'll be the greatest t-shirt you got in many, many months.
What about this?
The book on pro wrestling, Lessons from Rip Rogers. I got a big payment from Vince the Prince come in through what did he send it on?
I don't know. PayPal?
Yeah, PayPal, and it didn't work.
Then
I got somebody sent me a donation and went through it wasn't Venmo, but it was something else. Cash App, and then I didn't know how to do that either. So what the hell, right? It's they got money floating out in nowhere land, nowhereville, whatever.
We know how to do this one. I can get this one for you if anybody sends anything to CoachV40@yahoo.com. We got that good.
What I'm looking at is that big arrow towards the promised land down there. I guess it would sort of I sort of give him a promise on it. I never quite kept it, but what the hell, right?
Hey, if you didn't watch last week, Barry Horowitz joined us for 30 minutes. Exactly 30 minutes.
Exactly 30. Come on and out 30 minutes. The record, right on the nose. Vaughn Lilas as Ernie Ladd would say, he was manipulating the controls.
Check it out. Last week, Barry Horowitz. Check it out. Oh, Rip's got a call.
I gotta have a phone call for no reason. So I'll just put it on orange.
Answer.
Just put it on orange.
Shane Parks in the house from Roseburg, Oregon. Going to be a nice 75-degree day today. Hell, it's going to be about 90 here again.
Well, it's okay here because you got the fan on me, blowing my hair back, messing my Trump haircut up. We don't talk politics here, though.
Urias Tosh in the house says, did Rip ever wrestle in Lithuania?
Lithuania? No, that wasn't a hot item at the time. I guess if you were from that part of the world, I guess you would wrestle over there. But
he's in Europe.
Yeah, Europo.
No Lithuania, huh?
No Lithuania.
Talion's here from Green Valley, Illinois.
Green Valley, Illinois. That's the greatest Green Valley in Illinois that I've heard about today.
George Jetson from outer space. Welcome, George.
Remember the cartoon George Jetson?
That's why I say George. Yeah,
I know that.
From outer space. That's why.
But I was just remembering that when I was a little kid.
I doubt if it was that when you were a little kid, was it? What year did that come out?
Well,
I mean, it was that when I was a little kid. Was it that old?
I don't know. I guess they can keep playing the same shit because no matter what generation you can watch it. It'd be like watching Fred Flintstone.
Shane Parks, did you ever wrestle or meet Brett Sawyer, Buzz's brother?
Hell, he sat right next to. Hell, he died about 3 months ago.
Tell the people, Rick.
He died about 3 months ago.
Tell the people all this stuff.
Okay, I'm telling the people.
Not me.
But we was at some convention. I think you were there, and I sat right next to him at a convention, an autograph signing thing and everything. I remember he left early, but he was Brett Sawyer. That was Brett Woyan. He was Buzz Sawyer's brother, and in the ring, Buzz was great and Brett wasn't. But outside of the ring, it was vice versa. Pops has just called me on the phone here. I'm going to answer it. Okay. Well, we're on live. Can you hear? Answer. Well, I got to answer it first.
Answer the damn phone. There you go.
Wait a minute.
Tell him you're on live.
Yeah, we're on live. You know that.
Probably, yeah.
Why don't we put it on?
I would say yes.
The inevitable Yo Allah Ben Hameen with 127 lives. I think he swallowed last night because you can't sort of like that or whatever. So
yeah, I'm about to head out on vacation with the wives for our anniversary. So I just wanted to call and check in on you. I wasn't thinking that you guys were on the air, so apologize for interrupting the show doing the run in, but.
Concrete, baby. Every Friday at noon. You should know that. Concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete always makes it.
It's concrete, except usually not ever. But hey, shit happens in real life.
That reminds me, I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh, okay.
Except for next week, I'm not going to be here.
Except hang a bit.
I wanted to put the heat on you. You know, I got a sister who's a surgeon there in Louisville, and if you want me to reach out, I was going to do it now to talk about your business on the air. But I know we got the GoFundMe going. And a lot of us are concerned for you. We love you. We want to help you as much as we can. So if you want to give me a shout back when you're off the air, I'd be happy to talk about it with you.
Well, I'm trying to keep my toes on, trying to keep my left foot on.
I agree.
You know, with stuff like that, but they're all numb anyway. So what the hell, right?
Yeah, I know, man. But, you know, you're a stubborn old grizzled bastard. And sometimes you got to get pushed in a certain direction. Vaughn cares. All the sons of Rip care. We just want you to be the best you can be and be around for as long as you can.
Oh, so, now you got me. You got me crying on my own show.
Well, that's how we go. That's how we do it, buddy. Yeah, I'm out here to get emotional reactions. That's what I feel.
Well,
so, did you hear about all them guys that got their Packers blown off in Hezbollah from the Pagers?
Wait a minute. What now?
They all had pagers that I guess the Israelis got a hold of, or they did something, put little bombs in them, and then 2 days ago they sent out a text that the boss was going to give everybody the office or whatever, and it pretty much they all had them on their hips and blew their dicks off and blew their hips off and shit like that. 1,200 of them went off.
Okay, so who was the good guys, the bad guys, or who?
I don't know. I mean, it was a hell of a work to pull off to get them to all have pagers to get to your upper echelon guys that you wanted to, and then pull their dicks off. I think that'll probably go down in history as one of the craziest attacks of all time.
We'll have to Google that when we're done here.
Well, I guess I should pay attention to what's happening in the world, but you know how it is. Well, I didn't know the guys who got them dead. Now, who were the good guys or the bad guys that got them blown off?
If it's me, it's been me. It was the good guys, but for the rest of the world, I guess it's the bad guys.
Yeah, it depends what side you're on, Rip. If you're on his side or
Well, I don't. Anyway, okay. Ben Hameen's there. He's going. He's taking off. Okay, I don't know which one's which. So whatever. Yeah, okay.
Have a good vacation,
All
man.
right, it's the greatest ever. All right. All right, it's you. Thank you. Have a good night. Day for her.
Later, man. Ben Hameen, ladies and gentlemen. Never know what's going to happen here on Ask Rip Rogers Live.
No, we don't.
Shane Park's second part of the question was, let me get back to that.
Django Fett, he's in.
Let me get back to that. On Brett, why was he given the bubblegum kid gimmick? You know
Who's
anything?
that?
Brett Sawyer. Do you know anything about the bubblegum kid gimmick?
No,
Never heard of it?
No, I remember he worked in Oregon, and then when they got the big run with Ole down there, I had some tag matches with him and stuff. He was never any trouble. Brett, or the brother, was always trouble, but you know, what the hell, right? You can't have everything. It's just like you. You're the perfect brother, and in Chili's out raising hell. He's busy being near 6'12". He's busy just
The 2 weeks I wasn't here,
mhm.
you just talked right to the camera, right in the microphone. I come back and sit by you, and it's right back to me and right out of the microphone.
Well, what the hell? Oh, I get all these distractions. Okay, I had my phone off. Then Hameen calls me. Then we look there.
and there. You're right front and center. Camera, microphone.
Well, who gives a shit? Just as long as you can hear me.
Well, you can't though. When you talk to me, where's your mouth go?
Going towards your snake.
Right.
Your
You
snavets down
so
there.
you can't hear you.
It's the big
That's
hammer.
that's my whole point.
It's drawing that big hammer.
That's my whole point.
You can't help it if you're
Did
attractive.
you ever wrestle Greg Valentine? Any stories about him?
No, I wouldn't want to wrestle Greg Valentine. Hell, he might be.
Why not?
He might kill me. It's just he was brought up like his dad drew all this money, but he was just boring and stiff. Greg Valentine would be boring and stiff, no entertainment value at all. No, thank you. He just beat me. He would just beat me a pulp. He wouldn't sell. I know he would just register, and that'd be about it. But no, I didn't work with him. Thank God.
Look at that. We got a Big Al gentleman followed by a $1.99 super sticker.
Don't get any better than that, does it? Super sticker, Al Robinson on fire. He's here.
Look at that. Django Fett gifted one wrestling with Rip Rogers membership.
I talked. V-Day Vince, they came, they saw, they conquered. Django Fett right there on the audio scope, video scope, whatever you want to call the thing. I'm talking to the mic and I'm looking in the camera right now.
Right.
I'm on FF. I'm on fucking far.
John Tucker, $2, baby. Ever see a wrestler work out in their gimmick gear?
Oh, hell yeah. When you'd be on the road, you just take your wrestling trunks or whatever you had on, this or there. You just go to the gym and work out because didn't have to bring more clothes. I remember Puerto Rico. I'd take my wrestling gear to the gym every day. Then I'd hand wash it out, put it out to dry, and wear the same shit every goddamn day for all those months there. If you didn't like it, I didn't care anyway. Went to the island on one bag, came back with one bag.
Thank you, John Tucker.
It don't get any better than that.
Scroll back up.
We got to scroll back. We need so many questions on here.
We got some.
So
Shane
many,
Park said, who did you wrestle in the Maritimes?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was there in 4 summers. I was in there in 70, 78, 88, 90, and 97. When I was there in 97, that's when Rene Dupree would be in the back seat with me, as he'd be controlling the gimmick table. But then I wrestled Edge, I wrestled Christian, I wrestled Bad News Brown, Buddy Lane, Leo Burke, Angel Ancevita, the Cuban assassin, Jerry Morrill. The first year there, I was wrestling Lanny Poffo, Brute Bouchard, who's ever was the top stars of the nations was all in the Maritimes, because it was always a big deal to go there. Because if you were there, like sometimes that season would work five straight months, but you would wrestle every day, sometimes twice on a Saturday and twice on Sunday. So the arena rats of the Maritimes, you could see them, they'd be on the highways and everything, hitchhiking. Then again, if you got you a fat girl, she could take you to the towns for free. She'd get you the food and any kind of extravaganzas you needed on the side. Just put your hand over your eyes and make believe that hand is not that big and hairy that's doing, whatever.
You always say get yourself a fat girl. Did you never just get a nice skinny girl to do all that for you?
Oh, they won't do it. No, they want you to open your wallet. They want the girls like that. They expect stuff. No, you get you a woman that's a bit overweight, and then you can always put her on a diet. But even though after you put her on a diet and she's lost 60 pounds, in her mind she's still fat. That's like me as an adult. I could be Mr. Olympia, and I'd still be looking myself as the old little fat Mark Shire with the worm is about that big. So what the hell, right? You never know what's going to happen on Rip Rogers Live.
Your worm's definitely bigger than that. This year is the 60th. This is from Bull Digging. 60th anniversary of wrestling in Hanover, Germany. And what is it called? Shoots and Plots.
Yeah, I can't read it. Well, anyway,
a lot of legends going to be there. Looking forward to wearing the Hustler shirt there.
Oh, it wouldn't get any better than that. And now, what town was that in?
Hanover,
because that was there. Yeah, when I was working for a Big Auto there, that's when we was there for 10 straight weeks. That means we were there for 70 days in a row, having matches in the same building, and all the people would save their money all year and they get season tickets to Hanover. And the same thing would be happening in Bremen, happening in Dortmund. Then we would go down to in Austria, and it'd be the same thing there.
Shane Park said, Vaughn, who would you have liked to wrestle but never did? Rip, the same question. Wow, interesting.
Wow, that is a good question. I wish I could have wrestled like all the guys that were like 10 years older than me, like when I started or before. Guys that I wish I could wrestle Buddy Rogers. I wish I could have wrestled Lou Thez. I wish I could have wrestled Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk. You want to wrestle like Gene Kaniski. You want to wrestle all the old legends. You just dream about it, and you could be putty in their hands. They could be mold. You're a piece of clay, and they're molding you, and they could make you look better than you could ever dream about, because when you used to be the champion, you were the best at what you did.
Great answer, Rip. I figured you would say, nobody. There's nobody. I don't give a shit. Nobody. That's a good answer.
Well, I'm
proud of you, Rip.
Every once in a while, I got one,
Yeah.
Even though Ben Halmeen called me and then he got my train of thought going, and I was thinking about him banging all of his wives because he's got 127 of them. It's his anniversary. I'm going to go, damn, he must have to tape that thing up or whatever. I got to remember to talk into the microphone. I got to remember to look in the camera up there and have this on fire. It's okay, because I got my Big Red. I got my coffee right here. I got my phone. I don't know if it's on, off, or whatever. I see the orange thing, Django Fett's here. It don't get any better than that. Whew.
You drank you know how long I've been saving that Big Red?
Yeah, I saw how you had it in the back, so that's why I got it.
Yeah.
Just to rib you, because you had all the orange pop right there.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Been saving that for weeks, just for probably this weekend.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Can't believe you took my last Big Red, man. Wow. I'm going to answer your question, Shane Parks, kind of the way Rip does. I'm not going to answer it directly. I don't know a name. I would say I wish I could have had like an actual official WWE match. Like I did matches with Snitsky. I did a match with MVP. I did a match with who was the suplex guy? The tall guy that then went to AEW. Jake Hager did a match with Jake.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to be Jake Hager's debut on WWE.
Well, you were probably too tall.
I was too tall.
That was right, because he's about your size, and they wanted to pull him off as a giant. He should have been wrestling Sky Lolo or Lord Littlebrook. They were midget wrestlers.
So yeah, I was supposed to have all those matches and then never did. So I wish I would have had one of those matches, I guess.
Well, it's like Jamin Olivencia. How good was Jamin? I said, Jamin, you ain't going to get a job. You can work better than them, talk better than them, project better than all the stars. You're going to be buried. He was.
Jetson started in 1962.
Okay. So I was a kid. I was 8 years old. Wow.
73. Yeah. Wow. How about that?
Because I remember watching when I was a kid. Because we only get 3 channels anyway.
Imagine what could have been if Rip got behind the Iron Curtain. He'd have ripped that sumbitch down years before.
I don't know about that, but all them I would increase the Italian American population of the Western world or whatever it's called. Shane Parks, $5 a super sticker.
Shane Parks, not only a member from a long time,
but the S squared super sticker.
But also super sticker. Thanks, man. It's awesome. Appreciate it.
You know what? You know why this is the greatest day ever? Because I got your big red. I got it's like his last big red right here. So
it's not really even my last one. It's like the last
been
time I
there for
left
3
the
years.
Kings. It was a month ago. I've had it since then, just waiting to drink it.
He had that generic orange pop. I'm going, oh hell, there's a big red. I said maybe you won't notice it, but he did. You know, he got the king in him. He got too much king in him. He notices everything.
Did you ever hear that Vince and Shawn Michaels used to bang one out?
I heard that all the time.
You think it's true?
I have no idea. Hey, it's like this. Hey, it's like when you're phone and you're looking at all the news things that lead you in, and all you read the story. They got their click. Not one thing was said about the lead in and stuff. Like they always said, oh, this wrestler's dead. It's got a picture of all these WWE guys. Oh, then you read it and say, oh, we got you. There was nothing about them in that.
Ever run across Percy Pringle? Any stories on
Oh
him?
my God, Percy used to ride with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Percy used to ride with me in Tampa, Florida, in 1985. He had to, because Barry Horowitz would ride with me, and usually it was Percy, and sometimes Hercules Hernandez. I was in the big old orange vans with the double gas tank. So the first time I'd be driving, no matter who it was, I would the gas tank would run out. Because we did it with Percy, and Percy goes, "Oh, we ran out of gas." Whatever. I ribbed him, went ha ha, and turned it on. We kept on going. But I met Percy in 1979, working for George and Gil Calkin and Frankie Kane. He was a manager down the Mississippi Territory, and that's where I first met Percy. Then he had that big run in Dallas too, and then when he got in with the and the good thing, and Percy is a real mortician. That's the rib. He would do the thing when he was the thing with the Undertaker and
Oh, so he really was.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. Went to mortuary school, and he was a mortician and that's what he was doing in Mobile when he wasn't wrestling at that time.
Wow. What was the best town in Germany for the ladies and nightlife?
Oh, it had to have been Hanover. Hanover was the best. That was yeah, Hanover.
Talion said he's going to watch Renee and Jeff Jarrett wrestle this weekend.
That'll be the greatest match he goes to this weekend, probably.
Where's that at? That's not AEW, right? Renee, there's not breaking news of Renee going to AEW, is there?
No, he's been on.
He's in Europe, right, or somewhere?
Well,
didn't he go to?
Yeah, he was, and then he was going somewhere else. He was in the States for a while. Then he was going to Europe, and then Eugene was going. He was hooking up with Eugene
He's going
somewhere
September 1st,
Yeah.
or October 1st.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they were hooking up
Or
together.
he went once. Eugene's going back for like 2
Uh-huh.
months. Let's see. Was Rip ever around Dewey Robertson?
Oh, Dewey used to ride with me too. Dewey, the missing link, and Dewey stayed in character 24/7. And his wife was his manager too, so she'd come along too. So they just sit in the back, and Dewey always had this little stupid hat on, but he'd have the shaved head and shaved part of the eyebrow and shaved this, And I'm surprised he even lived as long as he did. He took so many steroids. I said, you must be the human phallus. You got so much shit in you. And he would just laugh and laugh all the way to the bank. And Dewey was a good guy, never missed it. Oh, the one time me and he's supposed to be riding with me and Bundy. And it was his turn to drive. So he started driving and he kept falling asleep. So me and Bundy, we just had him pull over. We just sat in the back and slept. And then about 20 minutes, he said, well, I guess they're not going to say, oh, we'll take over. So he just started driving again. So he tried to rib us, but we double ribbed him. He was a good guy. Dewey Robertson was.
Did he ever ride with the face paint on?
No, he always put that on when he got there.
Talion, look at that. You guys are a match made in heaven. He said he loves fat girls.
Who does, Italian?
Yeah.
Well, he knows the gimmick. You know, they'll purchase this, they'll buy that, they'll buy your gas, do whatever. If you put them on a diet, they still think they're heavy, and you can verbally abuse. It don't get any better than that.
Even Django said my ex-girlfriend got really fat for a while. We were still banging. Not bad.
But who are you thinking about, Django, when you was banging her? Because she was fat. I mean, heavy, big boned.
Ever wrestle Hulk Hogan?
No, on shows with him, but never wrestled him.
Think you could have beat him?
If I was the boss, I would have.
You say if you're the boss, you always lose.
Oh, well, I did. That was just sarcasm.
Yeah. Just watch out for the leg drop, man.
No, I was going to change things if he would have done it. Since he had the world's largest pythons, I'd start giving him a hold where he would use his strength, his upper body, instead of his skinny leg drop would beat you. That was a hell of a rib.
Yeah. Did Rip ever wrestle Eddie Guerrero or Art Barr?
Let's see. I wrestled all of Eddie's brothers, but not him. But I was on shows with him, but he was just he'd just come in at that time. And Art Barr, when I was out in Portland, his dad, Sandy Barr, was the referee. But I don't know if Art, Little Beetlejuice, or whatever you wanted to call him, I don't know if he was even born at that time, because Jesse was Jesse was just starting, and Art was growing up. But Sandy was the man in Portland. Sandy Barr, referee emeritus. Then he bought Salem from Elton when Elton was there, and he ran Salem. It was always the shits. And then when Sandy took over, we hot shot it real good. Guys worked a little bit harder, and we made 4 times as much money every week with Sandy Barr promoting Salem, Oregon.
Big Al said he never heard of Big Red until he moved to Indiana. And now showing up in Tennessee. Used to only be in southern Indiana.
That's right.
I'll see it up here now, Kroger, but it costs a damn fortune. 12-pack of Big Red's like $10 or some shit. Just go ahead and buy me beer.
Well, hell, that's
why I've been savoring that one.
Oh,
yeah.
God, this is worth $50 at least.
Stupid. Frank in the house, finally. Frank's in the house. Late. Meeting septic company at my house. Hope everything's all right, Frank. Don't get shit in the house.
I can just see old Frank's pickle barrel ass. Big old turdies floating everywhere in the Frankster's house.
Talion said Vaughn worked with Hogan. Yeah, I just wanted a match. Wanted a WWE actual match, like an actual match.
Well, they couldn't use two, but that's like when they had the thing with Hogan. You come in, you ran him away from he tried to get in the dressing room.
Well,
or
they
whatever.
didn't take me off that.
No, and you dwarfed Hogan. All of a sudden, you looked like you was 7 foot tall, and he was 5'10". Like, well, I used to be 5'10". And you was the biggest guy there. And what Hogan do? He just said, "You told him to leave, get out, get the hell out of there." What did he say? Okay,
I said, "Fuck off, Hogan." That's what I said.
And what did he do?
Those were my exact words.
Yeah,
he said, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, I said, "Yes, sir," and he bailed. Damn, you should have turned that into a big hot angle.
Should have.
Oh, angle. WrestleMania main event. Shit, Lilas would have put it to him.
What could have been? Let's see. If you let a man have your last Big Red, that's friendship.
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't know I got it.
He really just stole it, but
yeah, I was sitting there and I started twisting him around because he had a kayfabe hidden in the back there. but he had the generic orange. I went, ah, shit. Because I don't eat for 3 days because I know I'm going to come over here. So I know he'll have
We
some
don't
kind
eat here anymore. Do you?
No, you never. Well, you gotta, you gotta leave it out.
Well,
You gotta leave it on the gimmick.
let's see. Ripper ever worked Bagwell?
Oh, I worked Marcus a whole lot when he was
Handsome stranger, baby.
as the handsome stranger, and then he had his WWE tryout, or excuse me, WCW tryout match with me. I knew what he could do, and I was going to do my best to make him look great, and I did, and he got a nice job.
How do he pay you back for it?
He never said fuck all about it.
I can
Good.
tell you how. He wanted to charge like $300 to come on this damn show.
That's right, he did.
That's how he paid you back.
Well,
I'll tell the story. I don't care.
Yeah.
We saw him at a convention. I was
Uh-huh.
like, hey, Buff, here with Rip. Oh, I love Rip, man. Rip, wrestler, handsome stranger, put me over, got me in WCW. I said, how about coming on our show? I'd love to. Anything for Rip. Love to.
300.
Then he sends me a text later. I'd love to do it, Vaughn. $300. I'm like, never. I don't even think I ever replied to him.
Why would you?
I just,
Yeah. I would have said A, fuck off, B, and die. C, A and B above. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're 30 seconds in, right?
Yeah, but you still can't say that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Can I
Rewind it.
Okay, rewind it. Boom. Now I'm going backwards. But anyway,
Any stories of Bischoff from WCW?
I don't even think he was there when I was there. I can't remember.
About Slick. Somebody asked about Slick.
Slick was always a good guy. He was tall. The Slickster baby. He was he'd worked some territories and stuff, so he'd been around. It wasn't his first county fair. So yeah, Slickster'd been around. He knew the ropes. He was a little bit tall, so if he was a heel, you said, damn. You didn't like that because as the manager, he was bigger than you. It's like DDP when he was a manager to Pat Tanaka and
Paul Diamond.
And Dallas is about 6'5", right?
Taller than Pat Tanaka.
Yeah, and you're going, and Pat was such a great worker, and you're going, damn, the manager's this much bigger than him. Why didn't he get in to be a wrestler? Well, he did, but I'm just saying you want the manager to be a little guy, so you look great. You look huge.
I wrestled Pat Tanaka once. Loved it, man. He was awesome.
Yeah, well, he was. His dad was Duke Kiyomoka, who worked in the Tampa office. So Duke or Pat grew up in the wrestling business. He grew up going to the matches every week, hanging out and whatever. And his brother was a little bit older, and he had left the Tampa office when I was working there, but he had been around running towns for them too. So they knew what the hell was going on.
He was one you talked earlier about who you wanted to wrestle and said older guys. He was one that I watched, on TV growing up, Memphis especially. It's way more into like Memphis than seeing him as, what were they called? Him and Paul Diamond on was AWA. They were the what were they called?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll think of it'll come into my head.
Bad Company.
Yeah, Bad Company, right. Uh-huh.
And then I got to wrestle him tag match. Pretty sweet. I liked it. What do they say? Marked out? I marked out for it.
Oh, he was the ultimate shooter.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but he never it was just there in case he needed it. But usually everybody, if they knew it was Pat Tanaka, they knew his dad, Duke Kiyomoka, and they treated him like he was a star. He was always real nice to me. That's all I can go by.
Let's see. Frank said he got a shirt yesterday. Going to wear it to meet Vince Russo tomorrow.
Oh my God!
How about that?
Well, you might have Vince. You might have Vince autograph it for you on the back, not the front, on the back. But that'll be awesome.
Urias Tosh said it's surprised it wasn't a Hamburg or Frankfurt with the women. Hanover isn't known as a party town.
Well, a lot of times, all you want is that one bar where all the boys go to, then all the girls would go to. And then the girls are going, whatever it is, they're going to pay for it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
How was Rick McCord in the ring, Rip?
Rick McCord was so easy. He was so good. He didn't have an aggressive bone in his body. He would never bully anybody. He was always for business. He'd do whatever you asked. He was light as a feather. And when we would go to the shows, everybody hoped they were working with Rick McCord because, he wasn't going to get hurt.
What's his name?
You ever wrestle? Oh, Carl Ouellette. Yeah.
Roulette. I always
Yeah.
say it wrong.
Yeah. Carl Ouellette. Yeah. Him and, him and Jock were, Rougeau, they were a tag team at one time. Oh, I remember they did an angle one time where they pulled the eyeball out gimmick. So
They really pulled it out?
yeah.
Or-
Well, it was he'd had the glass eye in. See,
Oh,
see,
wow.
sometimes he would work. He when he was the pirate, he would have the gimmick. He would wear the eye patch, right? And I never see. And I think he was a heel then, but as a baby face, they did the eyeball pull out and this and that. So little action there.
Any Rick Rude stories?
Rick Rude. Now, Rick was really talented. Rick was really tough. Rick was a fucking asshole. He was just an alpha male. And then he was a big arm wrestling champ. Hell, his hands, his thumb was like twice as big as mine. And he was just naturally strong. And he took all that gas. So he was always ready to fight anybody for no reason. And if he'd have a girl with him, it might not even be his girlfriend. Whether you looking at my girl? No, I can't see 5 feet ahead of me. No, he was a tough guy, and he understood the business good. But he was all the group, like the Road Warriors. They all worked at Granny B's.
Like he was a bouncer, wasn't he?
Yeah, they were all bouncers there at Granny B's in Minneapolis. I'm trying to think of Crusher Cruise. Was it Crusher Cruise Chef? Oh, they had the Minnesota group, and they weren't trained by Vern Gagne's. They was all trained by, God damn it, what's his name? I can't think of him right now, but they all broke in together. But they were all bouncers at Granny B's. They all got into pro wrestling, and all those guys they were all successful.
What was Bundy like?
Big Fat Bundy. Me and Buns used to ride together a lot. And he was funnier than shit. He used to, he was from New Jersey. So he was a fucking smart ass. King Kong Bundy was. Chris Pallies. Usually a lot of times we go to movies in the afternoon. And then he would be watching porn a lot. And when we'd room together, his mouth would get me going. So anyway, as Ernie Ladd would say, Bundy, you big fat turd, you're gonna dumb yourself out of business. But old Bundy, he was he worked in Dallas, and he was Big Daddy Bundy. Then he got his hair cut off, and for Watts he made more money, and he was King Kong Bundy. And then when Ole opened up, he was coming in and out for shows, and he'd always hang out with me.
Did he have hair when he rode with you?
No, he got his head. I met him when we were in Mid-South. Before Mid-South, he worked a hair match, big main event hair match against Fritz von Erich, and he lost all his hair. Then he just shaved his head and he kept it shaved. So that was how he had the bald-headed gimmick.
Stephen Keys said, I'm going to wear the Hustler t-shirt to Double J's wrestling show this weekend.
Well, it don't get any better than that. Shit, you should have bought about 100 on the side and sold, and then we split the profits and whatever. But, that's for next time. You got to learn all that shit.
Did you know Luna Vachon, Rip?
Do I know Luna? Yeah, I know Luna.
Spit on me?
I didn't try to, but I had some of your Big Red might have been spitting on you.
Right.
But she had the world's greatest deep voice. She could imitate any man. Where I could sing high like a girl, sort of, but she could she could talk real low. She could scare the shit out of you if she's on the phone. And she was a tough guy, but she was Mad Dog Vachon. That was his niece.
Niece. I thought she had a dad in the. Who was her
Well,
dad?
I can't. It was his brother, but Paul Vachon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't think of. I was seeing his face, and when you're old, I see his face. I'm going name. What's his name? And I said, oh, well, when I get out of here, all of a sudden it'll come to me.
Got to scroll down here and make sure I'm not missing any super chats.
Yeah, we
here,
need
Bubba.
super chat. We got to have super chats.
Sure.
Super
Got
chats,
38
baby.
people on here, Rip.
We on fire.
Man. Everybody came back. Everybody's here this week to see if Honky Tonk Man's going to be in the comments. Rumor has it that was really him.
Well, it was. So what can you say?
Seems like he'd be in here today. Honky, you listening today? Give us a message in there. Give us a question.
He's probably taking it back easy, doing a relaxed workout, combing that hair back. I was watching some Honky Tonk Man interviews. It's like a 3-hour thing chopped into a bunch of segments on my phone when I was at the gym today.
Did you ever wrestle in England?
Yeah. I wrestled for Brian Dixon when I was working for Big Otto in 92. Dortmund canceled. They lost some kind of sponsorships. So I went to Regal's house, stayed with him in Blackpool, and we worked 2 weeks for Brian Dixon. So I worked in that little bitty ring, and I tore my quad there because I was busy BSing with the English boys, telling stories of what was happening. And then me and Regal, we didn't work the rounds. We would work the American 40-minute match, the American style, instead of at that time in Germany they were having the 3-minute rounds, but we didn't need that, so we just worked the American style. We had a 40-minute match, so that was when I was walking to the ring. I slipped in some beer, pop, there went my quad. Quad still torn, never got it fixed. Regal said, "I think you tore your quad, love." I said, "Well, I heard some kind of gunshot go off." He said, "Oh." So I pushed it into my thigh, and the little ball's still right there. It looks like a little round dick on my on the Snabbits Fabbits here. But no, it's just a torn quad. But that happened when I was wrestling for England for Brian Dixon, who passed away this past year. So memories to Brian Dixon. We'll give him the 1-bell salute. Ding. Okay, that was it. But Brian was cool with me. I was cool with him. It was great to work for him.
We had 40 people on for a second. Slick was the son of Rufus R. Jones.
I always heard that, but I didn't know. But I'll tell you what, Rufus R. Jones, as far as width, vascularity, muscularity, he was one swinging guy. And he'd always show it to you. Roof, baby. There was no violence in Rufus' match. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no violence at all.
Oh, man. Sorry if I missed the discussion before, but what was Batista like in OVW? Have you heard the recent Batista comments? I know he said them in the past, and he actually just went out and I think said them again on that Chris Van Fleet show. Did you see the Batista comments on when his time in OVW?
Well, really, in OVW, Dave looked great, but you couldn't have him working like a regular guy. So Cornette created this monster with the gimmick eyes, the demon of the deep, and whatever. It had Sin as his manager and everything, and he was an immediate draw. But in the ring at that time, because he didn't have the experience, you couldn't have a guy that looked like he did working like everybody else. So Jimmy created a star out of nothing. And Dave had a good run there. And as far as when he got to WWE, he should have been way ahead on his skill set of basics, but he didn't really have it yet. That's when he was Deacon Batista or something like that. And he had to take a couple steps back because he had been pushed up here. And now all of a sudden, but he hadn't done the work in front of people of basics. He was pushed as a star right away because he was just so phenomenal looking in person.
Yeah, he basically said that the Leviathan gimmick held him back.
Yes, it did. It did for WWE. But if he would have just been, you couldn't have him working like a 190-pound guy, and he looks like Mr. Mr. Olympia.
Well, if I heard him right,
Uh-huh.
Cornette just commented on it and
Mhm.
basically said it shouldn't have held him back. He still was in practice. He still could have done
Yep.
anything and everything and all the practices, all the matches there. They worked. He said, if you couldn't learn from Rip, me, and Danny, then he didn't really know what to tell you. He's like, so he did not agree that Leviathan should have or did or whatever held him back at all.
Well, it was just it was his first territory, and most of the guys that got into wrestling business had some kind of wrestling experience. It's like Shelton Benjamin or Brock, and then you
Well,
got
he was in that California thing or whatever. I think he wrestled out there. He was trained by one of the Samoans before he went to WW.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was seeker off at one of them.
I didn't know that. And in Aff and Sika, they all lived down in Pensacola when I was
maybe
there.
It wasn't. It was wherever they had. One of them had a school. Yeah, he was with them first.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever it was.
I don't think I'm wrong on that. Let's see. And I think Cornette said, I had you basically wrestle Kane. I had you wrestle, I don't know, maybe the Big Show, somebody else.
Yeah.
Like he mentioned. Let's see. Any stories on Brian Pillman, Rip?
Oh my God, too many stories on Brian Pillman. I met Pillman when I was wrestling in Calgary for Stu Hart in 1988. And I worked with him there some. I worked 3 shows with him on WTBS on Superstation, Channel 17. And the matches, we got heat because the matches were too good. To put it bluntly. Jody Hamilton said, "God damn, everybody's mad." I said, "What are they mad about?" "Well, you're making them look bad." Well, I said, "You can do with me whatever you want to do. If you want to say have a headlock match, I'll do a headlock match. If you want to say this guy, just put him over with wrestling. We don't want any high spots. We don't want nothing out of the ordinary. All you got to do is tell me that." But no, I was just going down to TV every time, bringing guys like I brought Kane and I put him on there as Bruiser Mastino as a rib because I was with Bruiser Mastino in Germany. Kane just shook his head as he sat in the back seat like this the whole way down to Atlanta. He was such a nice guy. I was waiting for him to say, "Hey, asshole, I'm in the goddamn front seat. I'm about 7 foot tall, But he didn't say a word. So I said, "Well, he must like it back there." It's just all hell of a rib, paying your dues. What the hell, right?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise me that he didn't ask to come to the front.
No, he was just so nice.
Did you ever wrestle Pro Tora Tanaka?
I'm going to do a story about Tora Tanaka after this is over on a snippet.
Oh wow!
The first time I was in WWF, the second night I was there, I wrestled I was in a match with Mr. Fuji and Tora Tanaka. First night in was against Georgie Animal Steel. So, been there, done that. What memories? Great. Nothing but fucking great. To go through the shit I did, how I got there, in the business I love. Holy shit, I'm like a kid in the candy store. Anyway, we'll see that later.
Frank says, how come WWF could use guys' names they used in Mid-South? Did Watts and promoters not own names back then?
No, I never heard anything. A lot of the stuff in the wrestling business now, Vince McMahon invented of taking your name or doing whatever, or taking your character so when you went with him, you had to change your name or whatever. Let's face it, Vince McMahon was a genius. He was a millionaire. He just had that $1 zillion wormage and got him in trouble all the time. But then again, if I was in his position, I'd been even worse.
Well, Django was talking about Rick Rude. They tried to turn him babyface in WCW right before he retired and still came off as a giant heel.
Well, if you've been there that long, it's how it's done. And Rick might have been fighting it a little bit. But once he got hurt, he was really done.
Dan Davidson in the house. Might be a new listener. I don't know, Rip. You familiar with Dan Davidson? Says, hi, gentlemen. Rip, how do you like working in UWF and Crockett Senior, where both companies were nice to work with?
Working in
Says, how did you like working in UWF? And then it says,
well, when I worked, it wasn't UWF. Well, I worked for Bill Watts when it was just Mid-South before that. And Watts was the most rigid promoter I'd worked for. Everything he did was right, but you pretty much worked every day. You drove as much as a truck driver. If you was going to, he expected you to be in shape. He expected you to eat right. He expected you to be on time. He expected you to work hard. And he had high expectations. And if you couldn't meet him, you either left because it was too hard, or he just fired you, because everybody in the United States was wanting to come work for Mid-South, because you could work underneath and make more than most main eventers throughout the country and the territories. It was such a good place to work.
so Dave trained in Allentown with the Samoans, Batista.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about Allentown too, because that's going to be on my thing. We was
Man, you got all kinds of stuff.
oh, I got all kinds of shit lined up, baby.
Man, what's happening? What's going on?
I don't know.
World must be coming to an
No,
end.
what I think I'm getting close to death. You know.
That's well.
Yeah.
same
So, yeah, I want to call up my old baseball coach, John Britton, and Mickey Beck, and thank him for when I was growing up, let me play for him and stuff like that. Trying to, I called up my old roommate Dave Wood and Rod Pollock a couple weeks ago, and we just bullshit for a couple hours. Why? Because I'm going to be dead soon. No, so what the fuck? And hey, I'm just think Vaughn Linus is going to make zillions just marketing this shit of having me. Then I'll be over more when I'm croaked than when I'm not.
Oh yeah.
That's Lilas Enterprises, ladies and gentlemen.
You've been saying this for years. I'm not buying it now.
No, well, I guess I could say the same about you, right? So we're in different things happen.
In the meantime, and in between times, we got a super chat from John
Okay.
Tucker.
Oh,
$2
John
super
Tucker.
chatter. What do you think of pre and or post match promos?
I don't. What do you think of them? If they tell you to do one, you got to do one, but you got to know what the finish of the match is. And then sometimes they want you to do this promos, but what happened? You're supposed to do something in the match, and for some reason it didn't happen. So a lot of times they're edited out.
So do you like him? Not like him?
I don't like them unless you come back, whatever, you got the shit beat out of you. All of a sudden you if you threaten to do something, if you say you're going to do this, you better goddamn do it. So don't be saying stuff.
As a heel or babyface or both?
Both.
Really? I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
heels that you say shit and then you don't ever follow through with it.
Well, I always say shit, never follow through
Right.
because I was a littler heel.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
I tell you what I can't stand are the post match promos where the guy is just laying after, especially in AEW,
Mhm.
after they don't sell anything for
All of a sudden they're
20 minutes.
overselling.
Well, not oversell. Now they're just dead in the middle of the ring while a guy cuts a 10-minute promo. They didn't sell anything the whole match. Now they're just going to lay there the entire time. This guy.
Well,
cuts a
what
promo.
happened? They got hit. It was so devastating.
Drives me nuts.
But it took a while. They was fighting on their last breath, and finally they just overcome with emotion and overcome too much bodily harm.
Hate it.
It's greatest ever.
You wrestled Adrian Adonis here in Oregon. Did you ever face him anywhere else?
No, he left. And then the last I heard Adrian Adonis, I was in the Maritimes, and that was when he was in that car wreck with the two twins, and the deer ran out, or bull or whatever it was, and then he was in the car wreck and he died. But he was a real talent. He was really good. He was a tough guy. He was a bully. He'd bully me. But then again, Piper told him to shut up and just do as I said and learn his role. So
You know
did.
Rich Patterson, Rip.
I know the name, but I can't place it. Yes.
So he runs like Portland Wrestling face group,
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
And maybe he maybe he wrestled back in the day. I apologize, Rich, if you're watching and I don't know. But I saw, because I'm in one of those Portland groups or whatever. Maybe I could just plug his, I'm sure he wouldn't mind plugging his Portland Wrestling Video at yahoo.com. Portland Wrestling Video at yahoo.com. Apparently, he's got a bunch of old hard drive footage of Portland wrestling.
Okay, and
So-
I don't even know anything about anything, but if he's got it, Buddy Rose had all them tapes, and he sold them, whatever he got, or somebody bought them all. And Rich, he must have got them.
No, I think he's got hard drive. To me means
Okay, see, I don't know.
I could be wrong, but usually if you buy tapes like that, they just call it a library. Like you bought the
Okay.
library.
Yeah, Buddy just had them all on his wall, all those Portland tapes and everything.
But anyway,
Okay,
everybody says I cut you off, you know.
I
And
just
you
cut
always
you
say
off.
you gotta let me fucking talk. You gotta let me answer the question. You gotta let me.
yeah,
Okay.
and
That's what I'm saying. That's what you say when I
verbally abuse me.
tell. Yeah. So now I'm trying to tell you something.
Okay,
So I contacted this guy.
okay, cool.
And he said that he was for you, just for you, because you were wrestled out there and all that good stuff. He's going to try to find your matches, put them on a thumb drive deal, and give them to me.
Awesome.
So we could have some good
Beautiful.
footage of old Portland wrestling coming through here.
That was
before too long.
Portland was the most fun I'd ever had in my life, was going out there. It was just great. Can you imagine? Lanny Papa was out there, and he was Lanny Holiday, and then he booked me out there, and I was picked up by Kenny Poor at the airport. Kenny Poor was a fan. I was going to say Mark, but Kenny was more than a Mark. He was a fan, and I stayed at his house a couple days, and he had one leg cut off. So anyway, I'm going, wow, what a gimmick to come out here. So then he took me to the Bomber Hotel where everybody stayed. So the rest of the time out there, I stayed there where all the boys stayed out there. It was the most fun. I was by myself. Me and Buddy Rose and the Bushwhackers pretty much made every town together. And when we wrestled each other, there was 3 dressing rooms. Me and Buddy was heels, and they was heels, but they were baby faces against us, but heels against everybody else. So it was just so much fun. And then Don Owens was great to work for. Sandy Barr was a referee. He was great. Had a good time out there. The money wasn't great, but it was the most fun, and the rats were everywhere. It didn't get any better than that.
Tyan's talking about the I don't know whatever happened with that girl in the lawsuit. Whatever happened to that girl, the Vince McMahon deal.
Oh, I saw something on the they're going she's got all these entertainment companies doing something, so they're going to make so much money and shit about whatever, and she's got a whole lot of stuff like so
that's still going on.
Yeah.
Tyan said, in your professional opinion, did Vince shit on that girl's head on purpose? Could it possibly have been an accident?
No.
You never accidentally shit on anybody's head before?
No.
No.
Now eating all these protein bars, all of a sudden I'd cut a wet fart. I thought I'd just shit my pants. But
Well, I mean, if there was a girl's head underneath you, you could have done it then.
when I was ever with a girl, I've never had to poop or pee. Now just think back your whole life. Have you ever had when you was a girl and you get going and you get blood in the gimmick, all of a sudden the pee lane's cut off and the poop lane's
I've
cut
only
off?
been with my wife. I don't know.
Well, you're the way you're supposed
I'm a
to be.
one-woman man.
Yeah. Oh, he's a one-woman man, just like the king, one-woman man.
Kid Quick said, congrats to Danny Davis being inducted into the Memphis Hall of Fame. Many good stories of the nightmare.
No, we don't want to go into any of that. Hell no.
Okay. Any Al Madrill stories?
Well, he was a big star in Portland. He liked his shenanigans. He had a good time out there. Let's just put it that way.
Did you ever work UFW? I found old VHS in my basement, Frank says.
What's UFW?
Or UWF, sorry.
Well, UWF was after Crockett bought into Watts in Atlanta. I think that's what it was. So I worked UWF before it was UWF.
But not after they
No, I don't think I've known anybody that worked as many territories as I did that's still alive. Because what you used to do, you'd go, let's say you went to Memphis, right? And they liked you and all you do like Lawler. And they want you to buy in. When you buy in, then you stay there pretty much forever because they're pushing you as a star. But then every once in a while, you go out and take a little vacation so that when you come back, oh, the star's coming back and everything. But whatever the question was.
I think Cousin Crazy watched this Facebook. You should watch this on YouTube, Crazy. He says there's time in the locker room with Jason Lee shit on the Eagle. You remember that?
Shit on Eagle? No.
Eagle was what's his name, wasn't it?
Shit.
Yeah.
He shit on me.
What's it?
He shit on me.
What's his name?
Jerome
Crony.
Yeah, Jerome Crony. Yeah. God, he was fucking funny.
American Eagle, baby.
The American Eagle. And Jason Lee was so fucking good.
Crony was good.
Hey, all those guys were good.
Crony?
We weren't the world's greatest athletes and physiques, but as far as characters and learning how to wrestle, these guys were awesome.
Oh, Jason Lee was great.
Oh, yeah.
He had the arrow shaved in his hair down
God,
to his
that was so funny.
70QQ said, don't forget Wednesday, the Vince Netflix 6-part documentary will be on. We should watch it for a live review.
Well, if there's some way we can get it for free, But
you don't have Netflix, Rip?
No. I don't watch any TV.
I don't buy that for a second. You tell me that all the time, then tell me all the stuff you saw.
Okay.
Tweeting out about the fever and stuff like that.
No, that's on my phone. Somebody will send it to me because I was always interested in the Caitlin Clark. I checked every game to see how many assists she got, how many points she got.
So
whatever.
somebody sends you Caitlin Clark updates? I just find that hard to believe.
Well, I just know that I put it on my phone, maybe because I'll Google fever stuff, their box scores or whatever, that I've done it so much that maybe I'm on like a preferred list or they send it to me automatically. I don't know. If something's on my phone, I don't know how it got there. I don't know how to get it anyway. Oh, I told you I got the thing with the Cash App. What are you supposed to do? I don't know.
Why don't you just show it to me and let me help you with it?
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, somebody sent me some money since my leg's coming off, and and I said, well, I don't know how to do it. And that's like Vince the Prince. He sent me the thing last time for the book stuff, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't go through. So
I don't know why you just don't ever ask for help. Wouldn't that be easier? Just it says, well, hell, missed out on that. Don't know.
Well, I
don't
didn't
know
miss
what I'm
out
doing.
Well, what the hell?
Yeah,
can't be perfect. What the you know how it is.
No, not really.
No.
No. Talyon said he's going to start doing the arrow gimmick. Do it. Let's see. What
I heard
else
Marcus would call Jason Lee Jason Leaf. Jason Leaf.
Jason Leaf. That's great. What else we got here? Big Al Robinson said there was another UWF with Herb. Was that Herb?
Oh, no, Herb Abrams.
Herb Abrams.
Herb Abrams. They didn't last very long. Yeah, and they would have let's just say they had real bad shows and people didn't come see it. But yeah, he tried, his promoter, Herb Abrams, UWF, he was they would get a lot of guys that had big names so many years before that. It was like a memory lane thing. But anyway, what the hell?
Any promoter you never got along with, Rip?
Not really, no. Promoters, just you're there to have a good time. You're there to please yourself of having a good match. And if they sometimes the money ain't as much as it is as you thought, and sometimes it's a whole lot more than you thought it was, and it all evens out. But no matter what, you wasn't punching the clock. You got in, you got out, you didn't get hurt. You learned something, whether what to do or you learned something what not to do. Probably had a couple rats, and anybody on earth would be in line to take your place. But it's good time.
Talion says I should put Netflix on your phone and give you my password. What do you think of that, Rip?
Well, that'd be the greatest thing ever.
Then all I would hear then is, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to put your password in. I don't know how to
Well, I
get
wouldn't.
Netflix up there.
I wouldn't. Okay, that's why. No, when you said no, I don't watch TV because I don't know how to do nothing. If I'm riding the bike at the gym, they'll have Sports Center up, and all I got is the sound's not on, and that's all I is do with the TV.
You don't turn TV on at the Rogers Mansion?
No, don't even know how.
Down in your man cave?
Don't even know how. And you think that? Well, if you knew me, no, he don't know.
Don't know how to turn the TV on.
No,
You've never thought of just looking at the remote and hitting the power button.
never. They're all coded, gimmicked, whatever. So I can't use electricity. It's like if you'd come on, there wouldn't be no lights like this on. There would be like a little gimmick light on over there to make it look like somebody's there, and they would come on so many hours and they go off, whatever. And
I'm talking about the TV. Just take the remote to the TV and press power.
No, I wouldn't. That's too much. No, I tried to do it on the riding the bike at the gym and to do it, and it wouldn't work right.
I'm not talking about the gym.
Well, I mean, they had the boop boop boop, and don't know how. That's all right.
Frank said he'll send you a link to Pornhub.
Well, you can just Google like slow ebony hand job, stuff like that, and all they pop up, and that's always in there, and they're the freebies. So I had about an hour's worth of that earlier today. So what the hell, right?
Rip, did you ever have a promoter stiff you on pay?
Oh, all the time. No, wait a minute. If you were in there with a guarantee, you always got your guarantee. If you weren't on a guarantee, you work towards the house. But then again, a lot of times the guys the guys on top will be making this much money, but you're in the matches before the break, so you're making this much money, but you're just happy to be on the card. So what the hell? You just want to get in, get out, not get hurt, have a good time, be with the boys, be with some young arena rat, and have some fun. Nothing wrong with that.
My Uncle Brian Brock, who is in this picture of security, I sent that picture to him last week. He told me he witnessed you not pay some wrestlers after that show. Told them they weren't getting any money.
No, he's lying.
Any truth to that?
No, he's lying. If they were on the card and they were booked, no, I paid them before they even went out there.
He said that you told him to go take the ring down. I said, well, maybe it was some guys that were just like hanging out.
Oh, a lot of guys were. It's like
I said maybe Rod Steele.
I was gonna say it's like Lucky and Steele. They would come in and try and act like a big shot, right? I said, oh hell no, this and that. So anyway,
so it could have been them, possibly.
Yeah.
There you go. Whose jersey was that? Clint Davis?
I think it was.
He was a stud.
I was a big Clint Davis fan.
Look at the King getting the stories from Dutch firsthand right there.
And who's that?
I have no idea.
That's Ron.
Ron who?
I can't think of his last name. No, not Ron. It was the guy who came. Him and Ron would go to. They would go to all the towns. They were from Northern Kentucky, and they would go to all the shows. But they were
like a fan or promoter.
No,
or
they would take pictures.
Oh,
they would take pictures, get them in magazines, this and that, whatever. Robert, I can't. God, I see his face. I can't think of his name. No, that was Ron, and John was the guy. It was and Crazy John. Yeah, it was Ron, and then his partner was Crazy John.
So what do you think Dutch is doing right there? Trying to get him in for free? You think that's what he's doing? That's what it looks like.
No, hell no.
King's like, oh, these guys aren't getting in. And it looks like Dutch is pointing at him, saying right there, well, he takes pictures.
Yeah,
he
probably did. Yeah,
that's what it looks like to me.
So the King ain't gonna fall for it.
He's got his Superstar Wrestling shirt on.
Yeah. But Dutch was
on the front, Superstar Wrestling on the back, security.
Dutch was so goddamn smart in the wrestling business. Holy shit, he
came
was
across
smart.
This picture. Look at that.
Yeah, I just shaved my beard off. I remember.
Man, look at those guns.
Well, I was younger, a whole lot younger. I was only 40 then.
WCW Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
The Hustler Rip Rogers looking good, man.
Looking above average, put it that way.
No, looking good.
Too bad we got. Oh, now I'm 70. I guess what the hell, right?
Let's see. We're about done here. How about those Outrunners finally getting over in AEW? Shane Park said.
The Outrunners are the greatest tag team in pro wrestling today.
Hell yeah.
Just leave them alone and let them do what they do.
Do what
Don't-
they do.
Do what they do, baby. Just spin. All I want you to do is spin. Turbo and Floyd, just spin.
Frank wants to know if you ever met a girl with extra fingers.
Well,
God.
I had one. She had the third finger was cut off right here.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
So it felt a little bit different. But then again, I said, damn it, feels good. So it was just different.
How come Dutch isn't in the Memphis Hall of Fame, Rip?
I didn't know they had a Memphis Hall of Fame. Dutch was a mainstay in Memphis.
That's why I think that's why they're saying he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Dutch Mantell's is synonymous with Memphis wrestling. He was there for years with Nick Goulas before Jerry Jarrett split away. Then he worked for Jerry Jarrett for so many times. He was always used very well as a babyface or a heel. He understood this business. He acted like a tough guy, but he was a sweetheart.
Rip, are you in any Hall of Fames? George Jetson from Outer Space, who's also in Green, wants to know.
Well, I got put in 2 of them last year. I got a ring in my thing right in my fanny pack that I got. Larry Hamilton sent me one. He's got a Hall of Fame that's in Jacksonville, Florida. Then I went to Evansville and I got put in the Hall of Fame in there. And I went to one other. I can't remember where it was. And you get food. They give you this. They give you that. It's a good time out. You see all the same old guys that go to conventions because there's only a handful because all of them croak. So then, hey, how's this guy? Oh, that's like we was talking about Brett Sawyer earlier. Yeah, he just passed away. I don't know how. It was a matter of months ago, and the time before I sat right next to him at one of the conventions. So our time on this earth is limited. So do what the hell.
Frank says the hottest girl in high school had a hand with webbed fingers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who had the hand with the web. No, Regal.
Regal?
Yeah, he's got the web a little bit on the fingers, the web fingers and the web toes. Because he was always talking about the web fingers and the web toes. So he was over with that shit. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. But he was the first guy I ever talked about. He was talking about webbed fingers and webbed toes. I go, what the fuck's that? He go, the little thing, it'd be about this much, the web finger and the web toes is fucking awesome. He's like a goddamn monster movie or something like that. It was fucking awesome.
Bobby Lopez says, Vaughn, do you like the chopper nickname or should we drop it? I love it, man.
Well, he's got the big chopper. So what
Yeah.
the fuck, right? The human chopper.
Love it. Keep it up. I'm starting to think probably maybe I don't know if anybody.
Nothing like that. The youngest man alive, Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd, the Outrunner.
Turbo and
Nothing like that.
Yeah, they got the big pop there. I'm starting to think what really got him over was probably showing this over and over and over on our show.
I think Tony Khan's been looking for that voice. Now, when you hit them, you sold your hand, didn't you?
No,
After you chopped him about 10 times, your hand.
no, I
wasn't
only
up.
chopped him once or twice.
Oh, okay.
You didn't even watch the match.
Well, I was
You like
sitting-
came out for a second.
Oh,
and then
excuse no, I
walked
was
off or
out.
something.
No, I was sitting watching the match with my sister.
You were?
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it was at the pizza place.
I know where
Yeah,
it was at.
But no, I was way in the back. Well, if you was looking
Yeah.
out the ring, you was looking that way, and I was way in the back watching the match because she was sitting there, and I was just talking to her.
Shane Parks, man. Big supporter of the show. Great show, guys. Got a birthday on Monday, 59.
Big 59, 5'9". Pretty. Then you'll be 6'0".
Ooh.
Shit.
Thanks for all the support. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for super chats, all that stuff you've done. Thanks for being a member, Shane. Happy
Oh
birthday.
hell yeah! Happy birthday.
Thought for sure Rip would sing to you.
Well,
Solo.
I can't take. If I take my teeth out, they'll start going. This and that.
All right. I think we're about out of here, man. Been on an hour and 15, it looks like.
Something like that. You know, it was just
You got it.
time was just flowing today, baby.
Flying by.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I can't do a show next week. I'm leaving Thursday. If barring any major setback, be back
Well, you can put some snippets up, right?
Tuesday. Yeah, I'll put snippets up, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying we won't have a live show Friday.
Well, I'm glad you told me, but then again, I'll probably forget next week. And
You'll be
try-
here.
I'll be saying I'm here, then I'll toot the horn. And
I'll give you the link, and you can just do it by yourself.
Oh, that'll no, I wouldn't trust that. That'll be a hell of a rib.
So yeah, it doesn't look like we'll be here next week. My apologies.
You have vacation about every other week, it seems like.
Yeah, well.
Going all over the world. Got the one of your dreams. You're just sitting at home, playing, being jacked, being awesome, practicing your chop, chopping the wood block, chopping the bricks and everything.
As far as the rest of them did, what I did was I intimidated a lot of people.
Well, what's Frank Pickle Barrel have Ben Hameen run in and
Run it with Rip.
oh,
Something. Like,
well, Hameen's busy. He's having a anniversary with 127 wives. So that son bitch gonna be wore out for at least 3 days.
Starcade, baby.
Arcade.
See, Phil Hamid's going on vacation. Give
Yeah.
him shit. Talk shit about him, man.
He already made the shows up. He already told me, oh, he's
He's
got shit going on.
Have a good weekend. Thanks for the super chats.
Yeah, just think of Frank's Pickle Barrel.
Bingo
ad.
fat. Fed.
I told
Big
you
Al
Jay
Robinson,
will
John
be
Tucker,
here.
Shane Park, Sean Tucker.
Don't get any better than that.
Appreciate it.